There you go. Look at this card. Oh my goodness. I just thought it was really cute and really different. Just let me get it close up for you. Here we go. You can see that I took the image from the Zoo Crew. I added a little bit of crumb cake, used light crumb cake and some color lifter, and I used ivory on her face and ears and the legs and arms, and a little ivory, a little crumb cake down here, and then the dark crumb cake for the hooves. And then I added a little bit more of Daffodil Delight to the paper. I mean, to the, yeah, designer series paper had a pale yellow. It was more like a lemon lolly, which didn't work as well with this one. This paper is the one that's from the Delightfully Eclectic Suite. This has a lot of fun papers in it, and it is item number 161640. So I only had the one little sheet of that. And then the Zoo Crew paper, let me give you that number. If I have it right here, I think I do. I thought I had my little bag. Yes. The Zoo Crew is what the image came out of. 161304. And then I used, you can see here that this is from the fishing suite. Let's Go Fishing. And that is called Twisted Rope. And right here in your mind, immediately you think it's yarn because this little llama is knitting. How cute is that? So that is, I used Daffodil Delight here, which this probably has some crushed curry and Daffodil Delight. And I did that in the daffodil and made her pop up. And then the So Tiny, So Precious was embossed in white. And then white on black cardstock. And here's the Twisted Rope folder in case you're interested in that. 161545. That is the Twisted Rope. And then I used some of the embellishments. These are the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. That's number 158130. And then the sentiment set. This is an easel card, which props up like that. If you can see from the side there. And I used a little strip of that paper on the inside too, hopefully to kind of make that differentiation there, make that line different so you could see exactly where that props up. I also used the Twisted Rope folder here. And I used a petal pink ribbon that I discovered was retired, and it was a brand new roll. Hadn't used it yet, but it's lovely and suede feeling. But it is number 159192. I'm not sure if that might be in the online store or on clearance or anything, but if so, that's petal pink in that. If not, you can use the petal pink ribbon that comes in a combo with the lemon lime twist. But I'm using this for a different class, so I didn't want to use it all up, but that would be just as cute, if not cuter, than this one. So that's all the products I used. And then I was going to show you kind of quickly how to make an easel card if you haven't ever made one. And it is, let's see if I can get that. This will lay, it doesn't lay totally flat, but I'm giving it to her at a shower. If I were mailing this, I probably wouldn't put the knot. I'd probably do something else for the bow because this is pretty bulky. But I used the thick basic white, so it forms a thicker base to hold up, and it's 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2, and then you score that in half again, which would be, let's see, if you do it this way, that's the way I scored it. I scored it at 5 1/2 and then 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 and 5, and all you do, I didn't bring my bone folder, I didn't bring anything in here. I just decided I could do this real quickly. So you just use your bone folder, get that scored well, then you fold this one back this way, and that will be what you prop it up with, that part. Then you'll have another piece of thick white that is 5 1/4 by 4 1/4, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that is what you'll attach your designer series paper to, which will be 4 by 5 1/4, the piece of the floral. And I don't have another piece, so There you go. But once you get that attached, then you can glue this on. Just make sure you get that even. I would use a liquid glue so that you have a little wiggle room. You can line that up. You just line up the both pieces like that all the way edge to edge, or that's the way I did this one. You can do it different ways, but that's what the size I had for the designer series paper. So that's what props up. Then you've got to have your little piece here. And on this is 1.5 by 4 1/4. And I did a piece of regular Whisper White. I think it stamps better on Whisper White. Our Whisper White is just a far superior product. Not Whisper White, sorry, Basic White. It used to be Whisper White. Now it's Basic White. But it's a really smooth cardstock to stamp on. So it gets you a smooth effect. It didn't stamp as well, especially with the Memento ink. It didn't stamp as well on the thick. But I wanted this to be thick to hold up. So what I did was glued these two pieces together. I stamped on here, I stamped the congratulations that you can see here. I stamped that in Memento ink. Now my little things are misaligned. Okay, so I stamped that in black Memento, and I did the twisted rope. I did that up at the very top, so you can see. So you can't emboss the whole thing because you want to put your greeting on here. Unless you do it separately. You can do it however you want. But I did it, stamped it first, make sure that was okay, and then did the twisted rope there to kind of tie in the same twisted rope there of the yarn. Glued these two together. Then you take either the foam, you can use your foam adhesive sheets, which I didn't bring the number in here, but they come in a solid sheet. It's like a solid sheet of Stampin' Dimensionals, really. And so I cut a piece of that and put it on the back, and that props up the whole thing. You want to put it where, make sure this is even. I kind of did it a little bit in from the edge, not exactly on the edge, but you want that to be straight because that's where this props up. So if you don't have this straight, this little piece, your little stamped piece that's going on here, can you see where I'm going with this? Whoops, these two are going to be glued together. All right, to make it stiffer, but you have the smooth on top with it stamped. Then you've got that mounted, and that pops up there. And of course, before you mount it, you'll want to add your ribbon. I actually put the ribbon in between these two, but I'd probably go ahead and, on second thought, I would go ahead, stamp that first, then and then glue the two together, then do the twisted rope, and that will help hold those pieces together because I did them separately and I had a kind of difficulty getting that glue to stay really on that textured part because I had a ribbon right here. So do the twisted rope, then add your ribbon, whatever ribbon you want to do. If you want to tie it around, then add the backing. Like I said, make sure the top part is straight, a straight edge for this to prop up onto. And that's it. That's a simple little easel card. Add your embellishments if you want. And simple, easy peasy. But I'll show that card to you again. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you'll take up my challenge of mixing and matching some of the things in the Zoo Crew. I mean, in the different suites. Just make sure they go together. They coordinate. I'm not saying just randomly stick stuff together. But this, I knew the baby shower, I knew it was going to be a girl. So I kind of wanted a pink paper that would work. And so I was just kind of looking. I saw her and I love this little, this is my favorite image, I think, out of the Zoo Crew paper. And so I just fussy cut her out. Like I said, added some crumb cake. The pink was already there. So I was trying to coordinate that petal pink with a designer series paper. So that's how I chose this paper. And it already had yellow here. So that was easy to tie in. Then I didn't have the baby set. So I found this in the Charming Sentiments. And the So Tiny, So Precious and Congratulations both are in that set. So that's how, and then to me this looks like yarn when she's knitting. So that's how they all tied in together with the 3 different suites. So I would love to see your take on this. If you do a mix and match card from different suites, would love to see that. So I look forward to catching you next Saturday at 10:30 live. And I will try to get this posted so you can see it at 10:30 like you're used to. Thanks a lot for coming. Have a great weekend. Fun times ahead. I've got lots of classes coming up. Check them out on my website, createwithkelly.com. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great week. Bye.